Hello, and welcome to my Twins Appreciation video. This is a simple little video about just appreciating one of Dead by Daylight's most slept-on killers, if not Dead by Daylight's most slept-on killers. That is the Twins. Starting right out of the gate, let's just go ahead and look at her visual design. It is not one of my favorite visual designs, it's really not one of anyone's favorite visual designs, but I really like the whole Victor inside her body sort of thing. It's a body horror that people cringe at immediately. Thinking of something living inside of you is already gross in and of itself, but seeing that thing protrude out of her is really gross. And on top of that, Victor looks completely insane. He looks like the Mortal Kombat 9 demon that comes after you in the crypt. Looking at her weapon, it's a pretty badass weapon. It's one of my favorites in the game. I like hooked things, and that hook is a big hook, and it's a good hook. Now, this video isn't live commentary, this is me dubbing over the video just to explain some things and to give a better perspective on the matches that I've played. The first match I set up was a bot match, and that was simply to test Victor's collision, because I know there are still some problems with it. I know, this is a Twins Appreciation video, why are you bringing up problems? The thing is, you can't appreciate something without at least acknowledging the thing you're appreciating's problems. All I can say is, be careful where you pounce. And another thing I want to add is, if you're playing against smart survivors and you miss a pounce, they can very easily just run up and kick Victor, as these bots show here. Okay, enough. Let's actually go into some gameplay of the Twins and see any strategies involved and the things that you can do with the Twins in order to make a good game out of a Twins game. The first thing I wanted to note is Victor himself. Victor has a pounce ability which allows him to lunge forward and either latch onto or damage injured survivors. If a survivor is healthy, Victor latches onto the survivor and the survivor has to pull him off, and the survivor gets injured. If the survivor is already injured, Victor basically does a little back scratch and the survivor's down. Also, if you take back control of Charlotte and leave Victor, Victor reveals survivors with killer instinct. This will allow you to see survivors who are downed, as well as any survivors coming in for a save or a heal, so you can play around that a little bit so that way you're not bamboozled by a flashlight as soon as you pick somebody up, because you see somebody hiding behind a barrel or something with Victor. You can use this to your advantage by placing Victor in a pretty well hidden place and allowing him to protect any generator that, say, has a lot of progress. This is not only good for protecting generators, but it could also be used for protecting hooks, as well as even exit gates, and if you hide Victor well, sometimes it takes survivors a minute before they're able to kick him. What's also good to note is that Victor does not have a terror radius. He is a bit loud, so think about him like a jockey in Left 4 Dead. With this in mind, you can bamboozle survivors, especially if they are not paying attention. If Victor has any height at any point, you can gain some pretty good distance just by pouncing. This is the most extreme example, but it gets the point across. Also, keep in mind Victor is not good at all times. Sometimes it is better to be Charlotte during some loops, while other times it's better to be Victor. This is a sort of game sense that you learn by playing more and more of the game. But basically, if there's a lot of corners and the survivors just keep running corner after corner and you can't seem to get anything done with Victor, it is way better to be Charlotte. You can use Victor also as an ability to kinda teleport in a sort of way. Basically, you can hide Charlotte near a generator, but obviously not too close. And then you can either wait a little bit to return back to Charlotte if you don't find anybody as Victor, or you can down someone as Victor and return back to Charlotte and then check that generator real quick to see if anybody's on it. Also, if you know there's a survivor in a locker, you can use Victor to kind of shut them in for a bit. This will immediately take you back to Charlotte, where she can go straight up to the locker and pick the motherfucker out. It is kind of funny. I think the animation was bugged here. He looks, it definitely doesn't look steady. With all that out of the way, we end this game off with an almost 3K. Since this is a fun video, I decided to just let the third survivor go. Alright, let's go ahead and talk about her perks. Oppression is her best perk, but it's not really one of the better perks out there. Basically, if you damage one generator, up to 3 other random generators start regressing. If you're up against the comp team, however, this perk is almost useless, unless you manage to get a bunch of survivors off a bunch of different gens, which is hard to do. Dare I say, almost impossible. Coup de grace is a very meh perk, but it does increase your lunge distance, which could really help during some chases. However, in this match, I simply used it wrong and basically didn't get any value out of it. For this match, I decided to use Sour Milk and Sewer Sludge. These are add-ons for the twins, and Sour Milk basically allows Victor to have a 2-meter longer alert radius, and Sewer Sludge allows Victor to latch on to survivors for longer, so it takes 2 extra seconds to get them off. This creates for some funny moments later, as it seems like Victor just can't seem to get off this one survivor. With all that out of the way, the next game is a little bit rougher. However, it still shows that the twins can put up a decent fight, even when it seems like there's just no way to win. As you can see, Sewer Sludge doesn't really have much of an effect towards anything in-game. However, it is kind of funny to see that this survivor just can't get Victor off of them. It is useful though, because you basically get free wall hacks since you always see Victor when he's attached to a survivor. You start noticing right away that this is a decent team because gens start flying. So I'm just kind of desperately kicking gens trying to get any oppression value. Things go even worse for me as misplays start adding up, and I'm chasing one survivor and not really paying attention to any generators. So 2 gens end up popping during this chase, leaving me with 1 generator remaining. The worst part is, these 3 gens are so fucking far apart, probably one of the worst 3 gens I've had the displeasure of playing. However, I did not lose hope. I end up extending this match longer than it should be extended, simply because I am playing with both Charlotte and Victor, using Victor as mobility to get to other generators to stop their progression, as well as using Charlotte basically on the other side of the map to protect another generator. Although I end up losing this match, I am very proud that I kept this 3-gen up. my best move here probably would have been to just leave that survivor and go all the way to the other side of the map, so I can get those guys off that generator, and then using Victor to again go all the way to the other side of the map to get that one survivor doing that one generator off. But I got too greedy with the one chase, and I didn't even get it by the time the survivors popped the last gen. I did manage to sneak in a 1k here, but I ended up placing her in the basement instead of outside, which gave the other survivor that was trying to help her ample time to reach the exit gate. I did use Victor to try and keep the survivors in the exit gate, because as they have Victor on them, they cannot leave the exit gate. However, even with Sewer Sludge, I just barely didn't make it, and was sadly shown Victor getting crushed, and a crushing defeat as I only got a 1k. But with all that out of the way, I do hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it. The Twins is not that bad to play, especially if you know when to use Victor and when not to. It is very crucial that you know that, otherwise you're just gonna get super frustrated. The music in the background is actually the music used for Charlotte. It's one of the best renditions of the DBD theme, and it is a super nice background music for the Twins. Again, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Please, if you like what you did, subscribe, please, if you want more content like this. And yeah, that's pretty much it. See you all later.